Would you love to know my workout? It's been one of the most frequently asked questions. So here I am. I'm going to be sharing some clips of the exercises I do. I'll talk to you a little bit about how I put them together as the sequences roll through. So you get a handle and a feel for what is it like in terms of the sequence of the exercises. So at the beginning of a workout, I will almost always include something like a chest press. Now, this is the first of 3 exercises. If I were doing it in this order, it'd be called a tricep. I happen to show it with one arm, so I could alternate, I could do both at the same time, but you get the idea, there's variations. The second exercise that I would follow this up with would be for the back as opposed to the chest. So in the gym, I might do a lat pull down I'm demonstrating, or up in the corner, you see a bent over row you could do with dumbbells. The third exercise would either be a squat holding dumbbells, or in this case, I'm showing a kettlebell, or at the gym, a leg press. Now, what I do in this tri-set 3 exercises is do 3, 4, or 5 sets, and then I would move on to the next set. Here we go. This is another leg exercise, so hamstring curls at the gym, the machine, at home, on a ball. I actually use the ball much more often, even at the gym, because I love the function and the use of core. But in between using either the machine or the ball, I might do an exercise like this for balance and core, and great functional use of both the glutes and the quadriceps. So I will go alternating with those exercises. So in another set, just to give you another example, I might do all of my leg press exercises in a row. I would do 4 sets at least of 15 repetitions, from heaviest to next a little bit lighter to a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter in rapid succession. It's called a monster set or a drop set. Very time efficient. When I have more time, I go on and do triceps and biceps. I'm just demonstrating an overhead tricep on a cable machine. It's just one of many choices you could make, and I would alternate that with one of many bicep curls. So this happens to be just palm up, swipe into the knees, core is engaged, standing. I could sit, I could do neutral grip, I could use a cable. What we want to do is pay attention to, number one, major muscle groups. Say if we were comparing your chest muscles, the pectoral muscles, to your biceps in your arm or triceps, bigger, larger muscle groups are going to have much more impact on your metabolism. And if you fatigue those first, then going on to do the small muscle groups is just a bonus. If you run out of time, you've hit that major muscle metabolism boost. Don't forget that. Secondly, you will want to do compound exercises. What that means is the exercise crosses more than one joint. So it will say if you're doing a chest press, it's going to cross your shoulder joint and your elbow joint. That means we're working not just muscles of the chest, but we're working somewhat the shoulder muscles, the anterior deltoid, and we're working the triceps as it extends the elbow. That's a lot more muscle mass than, say, doing a bicep curl, right? So when we think, and when I walk into a gym, and if I ever saw one of the trainers who worked for me taking a woman whose goal was weight loss and having them do seated bicep curls early in their workout, you can bet that I was taking that trainer aside and saying, what were you thinking here about the order of your exercise? What would make you forfeit metabolism for a very small muscle group? Because here's the thing, if we boost your metabolism, we increase your lean muscle mass, by default, we will support your caloric burn and energy expenditure so that we reduce your fat. And you are, when you do a chest press or say a pull, you are using arm muscles. Those secondary muscles are assisting. So even if you get really busy and you have to do just the critical mass of chest and back and legs, meaning a push and a pull and a leg exercise like a squat. You have boosted metabolism and you've worked those small muscles, not in an isolating way, but in an integrative way. And look, if you think about it, every time you use them in functional activities of daily life, it is usually you're using those biceps carrying the groceries, picking them up, putting them down. Those kinds of things have greater carryover to the safety of your workouts all the way through. If you're here because you want to stand on stage, you want to lift your shirt up and flex your abs, or you want to stand on stage with a bikini on and do a figure competition, this is probably not your channel. But I'm guessing that the majority of you are here because you want to have a great life. You want to take off on a hike or play 18 or 36 holes of golf or play 2 or 3 hours of pickleball, pick up your grandchildren and do that all in the blink of a day if you wanted to without getting hurt or overly tired or sore. Then this is your channel. But nothing wrong and no judgment. If you really want six-pack abs, that superficial look does not guarantee that you've protected your lower back from injury. And that's why I'm here for you.
Let me show you this bonus of a very functional workout. So this is a chest press, but notice my hips are up in a bridge and I'm alternating. I'm just doing one arm at a time and then I'll do the other. But the other arm, the static one, is still working. This kind of a workout gives you a great deal of body part activity, a little core, a little glute, a little chest. Excellent way to make the most use of time. This exercise for the lower body now at home is just a single leg, kind of a split stance lunge, but with the position of it, I'm really loading my glute. Weight's on that front heel, a little bit on the forefoot as that weight goes right to the instep. And then of course I do the other side. Now I'm going to come back down to the floor though, heavy on the glutes, just a bridge. It's body weight only, but that doesn't mean if we hit it with body weight, we're still going to get a workout, especially as I go here, very functional with a single leg. If you don't think that's work for your glute, you try that and then come back and let me know. Next, now I'm going to go on because what we've done is just pre-fatigued is what we call it. I'm going to do a hamstring curl with the ball here, but I've already done a couple leg exercises, so it's going to be much more effective. Just a great way to get some glute activity and still do a recovery workout. Not a lot of mechanical stress because not a lot of load. Core exercise, but also great for load. This is very related to longevity. Being able to carry 75% of your body weight for up to 30 seconds or a minute is very related to longevity. So go to work on that one. Just holding a kettlebell in one side for more core.
So with a lot of these major muscle groups, what I will do is superset, and that would be taking, say, a chest and a back exercise, the chest press and a bent over row, or if I'm at a gym, I might choose a lat pull down, and I will superset them back and forth. And that means 3, or as a woman post menopause, we program so that we want more volume, we want more sets, because what worked for us when we were 40 and 45, even 50 in perimenopause won't necessarily work well in post-menopause. It's been proven. So instead, I often will do 5 sets. It's a sweet spot. If I'm a little shorter on time, I'll do 4, or I will reduce the number of exercises I do and do 5 and maybe 6 to really boost metabolism for that short-term, short-time workout that I do. Another trick that I would do is do tri-setting. So that's 3 exercises. And originally it was 3 exercises 3 times. So you're doing the chest press, the bent over row, and a squat, and repeat till you're done. And then you move on and maybe do biceps and triceps. So tri-set to start, superset to move on. Just some ideas to get your wheels turning. But remember, it's the big major muscle groups in that first group. Smaller muscle groups always go last because if you run out of time, you get interrupted, you've done the major, most important work. Here's one thing that I will do. When I've been in a huge hurry, and as I started over, gutted my business, personal life, and the whole 9 yards at 49 to do something entirely different and work through a business on my own, was building other people's businesses and teaching at a university and lecturing internationally until I was 49. So when I started my own business, I was often really busy doing everything, all the things, wearing all the hats. I'm sure some women out there can identify. So what I often had to do was a very short 10 or 15-minute workout, making it very effective. Now, I could have chosen to do 8 to 10 exercises and do them once or twice. That would be a lot less effective for metabolism than instead doing 3 exercises, hitting major muscle groups. So if I do a chest press, remember I hit my chest, but I also hit my triceps, a little bit of that anterior deltoid. If I do a row, I hit the back, the rear deltoid or shoulder muscle, and I hit biceps. Very important for metabolism. In 15 minutes, I can do 3, 4, or 5 sets.
There's no way in a single video to cover this all. If you have questions, drop them below.